Who jumps out of perfectly good airplanes in the name of science? Mr. C.
Happy downhill day to you. I'm taping this 24 hours ahead for some of you. I'm taping this Tuesday right before lunch, and I just checked weather radar, and we've got light rain coming into the Phoenix area, but it's supposed to now snow. Half foot in the high country. They didn't expect that, so that is really cool. We'll take every inch of snow up in the high country that we can get, because it's translated into runoff, which is water in the lakes, like Roosevelt. Well, I told you about March. Comes in like a lion, where we'll have wind, and then for a few days, and then it'll calm down, and we'll have a cool off, and then it'll warm up, and then we'll have the same kind of cycle happening. And here it is again. We've got, it's going to be breezy today, which is Tuesday actually, and then we're supposed to have moisture come in, then it's supposed to warm up later and dry out, and then you know what I'm praying for. I'm still praying for a couple of really heavy snowstorms in the high country. We shall see. So anyway, look for that March lion and lamb contrast. It's already happened half a dozen times. I expect it's going to continue to happen. Well, first, on Monday, I showed you a video on the standard model of particles, the basic particles that all matter is made of. My major goal was not to blow your mind, because it blows mine. It's just so over-the-top complex. My goal was to show you how complex how complex matter is that God created, and extrapolating how awesome and amazing and wise and over-the-top intelligent God is. We still don't know how he made matter exactly. There are so many mysteries, and that's why I asked you to write down a number of mysteries. So that was the first video on the standard model particles, the different kinds of particles, like fermions and hadrons and bosons, some of the ones you hadn't heard, gluons, and some of them that are responsible for holding matter together, which I'll get to in a minute. The second video that you saw on Tuesday was on this. It's on the LHC, the Large Hadron Collider. It's called, you get the idea why it's incredibly large. It's actually about 18 miles around underground, cost multiple tens of billions of dollars to build, and its job is to send basic particles, protons, really fast, close to the speed of light, and smash them into each other. It's, in a very basic sense, an atom smasher. And the purpose is to send these protons together so they'll break apart and fly off, and then study the leftovers from those collisions. So the Large Hadron, which is a kind of basic particle, collider, because it involves collisions. So you want those protons to collide, and then study what happens after they collide, and if there are any new particles that can be figured out, deduced from those collisions. So you can't really see the bosons, but you can see the indirect evidence of them, a lot of those particles. They have been predicted mathematically, and they have been looked for decades. So, and particularly there was a special kind of particle that was being searched for. It was called a certain kind of boson, and if they found it, then they would know that there was this invisible kind of like field, or kind of like energy. It's hard to describe because it's invisible and not easily sensed. So that's why it's called a field, not a visible field, as the video is going to show in a little bit when you see it. So if you can find this particular kind of boson particle in these collisions of the LHC, then you would know that this Higgs field existed, name for a physicist by the name of Higgs. And then they would, and then they actually honored him by calling it the Higgs boson particle, aka some people have called it the God particle. And I'll explain more about that tomorrow when I have more time. Since today's a half day, I've got to get rolling, let you watch the video. You're going to write down 10 bullet facts. So I'm going to ask Uriah, who's in today. Thank you, Uriah. I'm going to ask him to stop the video about 3 minutes in and let you catch up on your first 5 bullet facts. Do your best, try your best to write down just 5 important bullet facts from the video on the Higgs boson particle, and then you'll see the last 3 minutes, and while it's going, you'll write, your goal is to come up with 10. Try to make them as neat as you can. I realize you're writing fast, and make them complete, not just 2-3 words, but almost quasi-sentences, almost sentences. Okay? So do your best, and then tomorrow we'll have a chat about the Higgs boson particle. My goal with all of this is to show you how awesome and how wonderful and amazing God is in the way He made matter. So over the top, it's hard for us to figure out how it works. Even the smartest physicists are going, one physicist said, we can't figure all this stuff out. It's just too complicated. That's because God is so complicated. Well, anyway, I think you'll enjoy this video on the Higgs boson, B-O-S-O-N, particle. So take it away, Uriah.